So in the last video, we talked about tier pricing, and at the beginning of the video, we kind of zoomed out and we used the example of the hat store. We're going to go back to that, kind of the beginning of each of these cost structures to help you to really grasp the concepts here. In this video, we're talking about flat rate pricing. So let's imagine, again, going back, you own the hat store, you're buying the hats, you have all these different costs, you have your overhead, and maybe you just get tired of all the complication of trying to deal with which shelf do I put the hat on? Is it, the low one, the middle one, or the high one? And you say, you know what? I'm going to do a new thing. I know that on my hats, I could sell all of these hats in here for $15 each. And if I said every hat is $15, that is so simple. Customers will love that. They'll just come in. It doesn't matter which hat you get. It's 15 bucks, right? Now, as a result of that, that means there's going to be some hats where I only paid maybe a couple bucks to get that hat from my vendor. I'm going to make a lot of money. But there's going to be other hats that maybe I paid $16 or $17 for that hat. So I might actually be losing a little bit of money, but I know that on the average, I'm going to make money. That is an example of flat rate pricing, right? That flat percentage pricing. So that flat percentage pricing is really a great way to make it very, very simple. And simple is important. Merchants love simple. We're going to talk about simple pricing structures later on in other modules, but merchants love simple. And so the way that this works in credit card processing is very simple. It's flat rate. All your transactions, they cost the same. It's going to be a flat 2.7% or 3% or 2% or whatever it is, whatever that flat rate. Again, different competitors do different things, but the idea is you're giving them a flat rate. And so the advantage of this is very obvious, and that is it's really, really simple, right? The merchant always gets their statement. They know what the percentage is going to be. The downside, of course, is it's even less transparent to the merchant as far as what the underlying costs are. Now, for a smaller merchant, they're going to love a program like that. Really, any merchant, even under the $100,000 a month in volume, a lot of times they like that because they like the predictability of it. They know exactly what it's going to cost them every month. It's going to be a flat percentage of whatever the volume was that they processed. Okay. And so they really like that. That's a nice idea for them. But again, there's no transparency. They're not going to know what the underlying costs are. They're not going to know exactly what the processor is making. But that's flat rate pricing. Again, not nearly as complex as tier pricing, the same general idea. But keep in mind that the flat rate pricing is very risky in terms of, on your side, making sure you're getting the right merchant for that program and putting them at the right rate. Because if you're doing flat rate pricing, the problem, of course, is there are going to be transactions where you're probably going to lose money on that transaction because the actual cost of processing it is higher than what you're collecting. But there's going to be a lot of other transactions where you're making a lot of money because it's costing you very little and you're still collecting that higher amount. So the key to flat rate pricing, making it profitable and making it equally, equitable for both sides here, you and the merchant, is just kind of making sure that the rate you're charging is really you have the right merchant at the right rate. If you get that part correct, it can be a great program. It's simple and a lot of merchants love that flat rate option.